Man, playoffs have been amazing. Let's get straight into it. Like the way that these games have played out, we thought that the upper bracket would be kind of a doozer. Like for the most part, the narrative was that Foot came in pretty dominant, and we wouldn't know how they face up against EDG. Maybe EDG win, maybe Foot win, but off the get go, like it's just back and forth. And same thing with G2. Unfortunately, I didn't really get the chance to watch most of the game just because it was an afternoon game for me. And man, the bottom bracket, it was just completely like stomps. Like it they once the winning team established momentum, like it was just over. Like you just felt like these games weren't that serious because it wasn't back and forth. Even when a team would run around, they just had full control of the game. And that's gonna lead into a really good semifinals matchup. But man, let's get straight into the EDG. I'll go into the G2 a little bit just because I have some thoughts, even though couldn't really watch some of the game. But let's get into it. Man, Haven, it was just like a one-sided affair. Like for it to be the opening map for EDG, and it feel like, oh, are they gonna show up? Is it gonna be another tournament where they don't do their thing and be able to have at least some impact, win some rounds, win a map, win a series? And from here, it's like, okay, maybe Haven isn't their map pick, and Foot was just that it's their map pick. They love that map, but we wanted to see like some back and forth. But okay, first map, we'll let them have it. And Pearl, for the most part, it was kind of the same. There was a little bit back and forth, but it felt like Foot still had the momentum, and it came down to the pistol round, a 4-8, and where if EDG lose the pistol and Foot go up to potentially 10, I feel like it's just over at that point. But they win the pistol and they just go on a run and they just go from there and go into OT. Initially up to 12, but then they lose the 2 rounds, but able to clinch it out with some crucial adaptations. Like if you look into the Pearl, we'll go into it real quick.
The day two.
The oops. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad, my bad.
All the
We're going
prestige
to
that they've earned
Pearl.
prior, where trophies were being lifted.
We're going to Pearl, and they go into overtime round.
Successful. And he's donated.
Oops.
This is only the push even further beyond holding. Finding their mark. Chichu wanted to fuse.
Oops.
To it.
Let's be.
This right here.
Three. No, a full fight, but a molly has to be sidestepped.
It's a fake.
This art play when they previously have not fought for art as a team together. This crucial play where it's just the right time, right place, and they're just waiting for contact, and they win this round just because they show adaptation. They don't show the same play. They don't show this until an OT round where it's probably the best time to do this. And of course, this helps them pretty much close out a round with the. Oh my god, the way that Chichu is able to clutch. If Chichu doesn't clutch in these games, then they don't win the finals at the end of the day. Like one of the focuses of how I wanted this team, the crucial player is Chichu. If Chichu is clutching for this team, even if it's a 1v1, it doesn't have to be a 1v3, it doesn't have to be 1v2, like, or sometimes in a 1v2. He's capable of doing that. But like in these instances where he wins these rounds and they pretty much EDG are unstoppable, because in the previous tournament in Santiago, they weren't, that team that came up with these clutches. These clutches are so crucial to these rounds because you have to win them. If you don't win them, then the momentum flips, or they go to another OT.
Chichu wanted to fuse, starting to be laid down. The pull is not in time. This is half Chichu.
And one thing I want to talk about is how crucial these OT rounds. If Yeda J wins this 1v1, the momentum could potentially flip to Foot, because imagine you play like really good game plans and then you still end up losing or tying the OT and you have to reset again. You constantly have to reset and try to figure out new ideas or little micro adaptations. And sometimes the littlest mistakes in these adaptations, potentially loses you the map, and EDG don't make it through.
And condition turns. Another tap. Try and pull him out of the open, but the star is doing everything now.
And I mean the classic play out of a Astra star or any star is just trying to get a half, or even just tapping it and waiting for them to reel themselves. Because if they know, or if they don't bite on, the tap, then they have to go and check the smoke, and you just swing out the smoke and kill him. And man, Chichu, dog. Again, sorry, this is gonna be really unedited, just because I want to give like my raw reactions, and so with the little blip in the videos, please bear with it. And Fracture, man, Fracture again. Like I just want to go into this round, another Chichu round. Like I cannot give
Here's
this
the
man enough
footstep.
credit. During their champs run, like Chichu was so much of the credit. Like Hong Kong, of course, is the spearhead. This is Star Duelist, is the focal point. Is everybody wants to play, but man, Chichu.
Orbital strike. This is to push him all the way out to the open. Chichu, no choice but to retreat. And Amoli alongside it. Slips his way around the corner to Sociable, can stick this all the way, all the way! Chichu!
Man, the balls to be able to be like, okay, I know my timing, or not even like you can't even practice this timing of being in the situation where he's low on damage. He has to wait for his refresh shield to go back up. He waits for it to go back up. He knows that the molly. He knows he has to get super quick out of it, or else he's gonna die and potentially have to make sound. But again, the pull out animation out of the gun sound off of the spike is just too slow compared to Chichu, and they win the round. Like these crucial rounds, just like was like from that moment it was like, okay, it's over. Yeah, Foot could potentially make a run back, but the momentum was on the side, the crowd was on their side, and EDG just looked like they're on a run. We'll get into some of the semifinals. We'll just go into like overview of how these matches played out. And Paper X, again with Paper X and Lev, and we'll go into Vitality and Heretics. But those two teams, like they just set the tempo. And for Paper X in itself, man, this ascent. Leviathan's best map, they just go into it and they just straight dominate. They set the tempo compared to, they know, okay, these are rookies. We're going to set the tempo. They've never faced anything close to what we have in terms of maturity, in terms of in terms of experience, in terms of tempo, in terms of like the overall skill set, and just like the overall like brand of Paper X and the fans and the environment. Like the combination of all these things just kind of led to crumble. I don't think they necessarily played bad. They just were out experienced in most of these rounds. Like even in Lotus, like the way that Paper X set the momentum, it was hard for Lev, a rookie team, to have like that respect. And that's the thing with Paper X, is that you need to gain their respect in order for them to kind of play off of their game. If not, they're going to play their game until you tell them not to, or until they respect you enough to be like, okay, we have to adapt to how we play. But if they have their game plan and they're hitting their shots, then it's pretty much GG. In a sense of where Neon is almost dropping 30, it just didn't feel like it was ever that close to be a potential map 2 to Lev on Lotus. And plus their Lotus they haven't had much like showings of it, especially in Americas. And so it's kind of hard to be able to tell how Lev will continue in their map pool, because again they've had limited time, but I feel like there's still a potential run from them in this playoffs. Maybe not as deep, but I feel like they're able to make some runs with who they end up playing next. And for Vitality, it's pretty much the same. Like we'll talk about Heretics. Like Heretics was just the team where they rely on Kosh to be able to be the spearhead and be the focal point of this team. Like where when they played and they won EMEA in stage 1, like a lot of their gameplay was just centered around Kosh, like being the annoying Odin, abusing and sliding Neon, where he's taking a lot of the aggro and setting up the team. Even if he's dying, you still have Wu, who's able to be the secondary duelist. And this, in this sense, whereas Breeze, like they just got outclassed, they got outshot, they just didn't feel like they showed up at all. Like their game plans wasn't really like adaptive enough to be able to suit to this meta, because it feels like in this meta, especially towards Breeze, that first map where it felt like, okay, Vitality is warmed up, like is Heretics gonna show up? Like they're just going round after round. Occasionally they get a round back, but the way Vitality is suited for this meta and this Breeze pick, even though it's not necessarily their pick, and how the contrast has changed from EMEA, where uh, Vitality was losing to Heretics. Vitality knows, okay, we're just simply better than this team. And it's hard to argue against the other way around because you have different sample sizes of where they were good in EMEA, but then they had the Neon nerf. They had, where Kosh can be able to slide around, get multi kills, slide around again, and just abuse the Neon movement. But for us, it really just shows that they didn't, or at least so far, hasn't been able to adapt like in game between that transition or the between the gap of like, okay, yes, you can just stay, you can pick the same comp and try to do similar things and have little adaptations, but like for the most part, it just doesn't look like it's a good read. Because that's the thing too, is that even if you have enough time, like, do you have a good read on the meta? Like, yes, you could be winning scrims, but at the end of the day, it's one match, sometimes two matches that determine if you win this tournament or not. And yeah, for Vitality, they just look in really good form. Even if it does come down to game plan, it just seemed like they were just out shooting them. Even when there was, a little bit of back and forth, like it just seemed like Vitality was the better team and just woke up better that day and just maybe the better overall team at this moment and this meta. And G2, man, G2, it's just sad at this point. Like initially I kind of believe in the narrative that okay, if G2, if it's now or never. It's now or never. Their Lotus, they look great. That's the part where I did catch, and I saw a little bit of their ascent, but I was like, it isn't nothing too concerning. I think I stopped watching around here just because I got a little busy. I was like, it isn't too concerning, but then once I saw the score line and that they lost map 3, I was like, yo, this is a big red flag to be first pick and to be kind of embarrassed in the manner of like, okay, if XLG fell in their lap and they still lost, then yeah, the roasting wouldn't be as crazy. But the way that they just kind of set themselves up for failure and how they were going about it, it just is a really bad look as somebody who thought that G2 would be able to make their run right now. But since they're in lowers, the odds are extremely unlikely. Like XLG have been playing pretty good. Like I think it isn't really like superstar play, it's just really good team play. They know that their individuals can shine and can shoot. It's just that it just seems like G2 just kind of went under the weather, or it just wasn't their day. It wasn't They didn't have the Swiss stage run that they're usually accustomed to, but it's just unlucky. And so now these next matchups, again, super unedited. I just want to talk about them and my thoughts and who I think will win. And we'll go over it a little bit later on what actually does happen. But XLG, EDG, I think if XLG just has the favorable map pool, then they potentially do win. But if EDG has like the favorite, because obviously they're the most popular team in China, even with the XLG that is like, known to be around crowds, I feel like EDG just dominates based on momentum. But if XLG sticks to the game plan and it plays loose, they can't win. So EDG and XLG have like different conditions for them to win. If EDG carries the momentum, then I think they win regardless of how, the map pool sets out, just because I'm not really familiar with how everybody's map pool and what they could have changed. And so from here, it's just a guessing game. It's a regional matchup. And XLG could win on a coin flip. EDG can win on a coin flip, but I think EDG carries the momentum and wins out in a best of 3, most likely 3 maps for sure. And one thing I do want to check, EDG bans Ascent. They most likely don't play Ascent. They're most likely going to play Lotus. And if we go to their grand finals, they did ban their Lotus. Did they play Lotus in their best of 2? They banned Lotus. They most likely play Lotus. That's going to be interesting. I don't think they want to play Ascent unless they practice it and have it as a trap card. And Paper X Vitality, I think I just don't want to think about this because if the more you think about it, the more you overthink, and the more you lean one way or another and think map pool. But I think just off of vibes, I think Paper X. I think Paper X, if they show the form that they had against Love, then nobody's beating them. I guarantee nobody is beating Paper X if they show that form. And lowers, I think we got G2 Foot banger matchup. I think most likely they're gonna play Haven. Probably play Haven, Lotus, Pearl, or Split. I think G2 it's now or never. It's their game to lose and for Foots to win. And so I think based off of that, I think personally I think G2, but Foot can be favorable to win if they flip the momentum, and G2 just isn't capable of closing out this team. For Lev Heretics, I think it's just sad for Heretics. If Lev show their form, unfortunately they ran into Paper X, but if they play anybody else and show their previous form, then they probably beat any other team. I mean, maybe besides G2 when they played in grand finals, but even in the best of 3, Lev beat G2 in their best of 3. And so I think it's just another game of where Lev just steamroll Heretics, depending on map pool. Because for Heretics, they ban Pearl, so that means Ascent will most likely be open unless they choose to ban Ascent. They pick Lotus. Love is decent at Lotus. Maybe they get 1-1. Let's see. For Lev, they ban Breeze. Lotus. Ooh, Fracture. Yeah, I think if we go back to this, obviously it doesn't show this, but I think Live ban Breeze, Heretics ban sorry, what did they ban? What did they ban? They ban Pearl. So if we go back to this, they Live ban Breeze, Heretics ban Pearl, Live choose Ascent, Heretics choose Lotus, there's Fracture, Split, and Breeze. Live ban Breeze. Oh wait, did I say Breeze? Damn, I have bad memory. Yeah, so Breeze, Ascent, Lotus, Fracture, Haven. So, oh, okay, Haven. Sorry, this is the end of the video. But so for Lev, they brand Breeze, Heretics brand Pearl, Lev choose Ascent, Heretics choose Lotus, Fracture, Split, Haven. So Lev ban Haven, Heretics ban either Fracture, Split. Most likely they go to Split. Yeah, most likely they go to Split. In that scenario, I think Lev win. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Sorry about that little. Sometimes my memory is a little off, but yeah, these are the matchups. It's going to be interesting playoffs no matter how it turns out. No matter who wins, it's just going to be wow, nobody predicted this, and these are going to be really good games. Because if nobody predicted this, then it's just like every other game is just like a surprise and like a really good, like, oh, I don't know what to expect from here. So yeah.